To the trial now with our legal analyst, attorney John Tompkins, to get his insight and perspective. Again, John, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Okay, so John, we just talked a little bit about it. We've got closing arguments tomorrow. What will that look like likely for both the defense and the prosecution before it does end up in the jury's hand for that verdict?
Well, the state's going to go first and last. That's how it is in all closing arguments in all criminal trials. The state has the burden, so they get the first word in closing arguments, then the defense goes, and then the state comes back and has a rebuttal argument. After that, the jury will be instructed, sworn in by the bailiff, and they will go off to deliberate.
After we've heard all the testimony now, what do you think this case really hinges upon?
I really think it is going to boil down to those confessions and whether the jury believes they are valid enough to convict on, or is there enough to show that they are just desperate statements by somebody in a bad mental health state.
Talk about the speediness of getting a verdict. If we get a fast verdict, what does that mean for the prosecution versus the defense? And then if it does take jurors days or even weeks at a time, what would that mean for either side?
Well, I think these jurors are going to be very serious about their task. And so I think a fast verdict would be probably about a day because there is a lot of evidence to go over. And none of them want to come back and have second thoughts later. So fast to me would be a day. In a case where there's a lot of evidence on both sides, a fast verdict could go either way.
Just one more quick question. I mean, we saw that there were some people who seemed to be surprised in the courtroom today when the defense rested. Were you surprised that with a trial like this, that the defense would be done with their case at this time?
Not really. This defense made certain promises to this jury about what they were going to show. And then they very efficiently put the evidence on to keep those promises to the jury. And once that was in, they did not waste any additional time.
Do we expect jurors to continue deliberating as soon as they start? Or will there be kind of parameters on you're done at 6 p.m. like we have seen these days go with the courtroom sessions?
Well, the first thing that they will do is select a foreperson.
Okay.
And in this case, there may be a while to do that. Now, I don't mean a day, but I mean an hour or so, because that's a big job in a case like this. So there will be some administrative things, and then they'll get into deliberations, but probably within an hour or so.
What about if there is a hung jury? What happens after something like that? And that would explain for people who don't know what a hung jury would be.
Sure. A hung jury is any jury that does not vote 12-0 either way. So 11-1, 6-6, anything that's not 12-0 is a hung jury, and that results in a mistrial. And the state can choose to try the case again after a mistrial. Now, we will see that coming because we would get notes from the jurors saying, we can't reach a verdict, we're not able, we're at an impasse. The judge would bring them out, re-instruct them, tell them to go back and continue deliberations. How many times that would happen is a big question.
And just to clarify, there's only one time after a mistrial is determined that the prosecution can take the case up again. Is that correct? Or if there are multiple times where, they go to trial, that there is a hung jury, like, I guess how many times can the prosecution try this case is the question.
As many times as they choose to retry it unless they cause the mistrial.
Okay, that's good clarification there.
John Tompkins, thank you very much for your legal analysis today.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to having you, of course, as these deliberations begin and continue. CBS 4 will bring you updates on the Delphi murders trial on air and online. Just head to cbs4indy.com/Delphi. You can also click on the Delphi murders trial tab atop our homepage.